This morning you woke up, maybe made some coffee, got dressed, dropped the kids off at school. Nothing about that sounds like finance, but every single one of those decisions involved leverage. And whether you used it well or poorly is already affecting your bank account right now. You just haven't been shown how to see it yet. That's what this episode is about. This is the Leverage Report. We explain how leverage works in money, business, and systems so you can produce bigger results with smarter decisions. Because leverage doesn't create outcomes, it multiplies them. My name is Rich, and welcome to the show. Most people hear the word leverage and think Wall Street. They think hedge funds, margin, accounts, billion-dollar deals, but that's not what we're talking about here. Leverage is, at most basic level, it comes from the concept of a lever, a simple tool that lets you move something heavier than you could have with your hands alone. In everyday life, leverage just means this: using something you already have to get more than you could without it. You don't need to be wealthy to use leverage. You don't need a finance degree. You're already doing it. The only question is whether you're doing it intentionally. So think about your car. Most people didn't pay cash for it. You put some money down, borrowed the rest, and now that car gets you to work every single day, generating income you wouldn't have without it. That is leverage. You used a small amount of your own money to access something far more valuable. The question was never whether you use leverage. The question is whether you're using it wisely. There are 5 types of leverage that determine where people end up financially. Most people are only using one of them. Let's walk through all 5. Number 1, money leverage. Every time you put $500 into savings or an investment, instead of spending it, that $500 stops being just $500. It becomes $500 plus everything it earns while you sleep. Most people spend first and save whatever's left. High leverage thinkers save first and spend whatever's left. Same income, completely different outcome. Number 2, credit leverage. For example, Sarah and Mike both make $60,000 a year. They both apply for a $300,000 mortgage on the same week. Sarah has a credit score of 780. She gets 6.5% interest. Mike has a credit score of 580 and he gets 8.2% interest. Same house, same neighborhood, same price. Over 30 years, the difference cost Mike over $120,000 more in interest. Credit isn't just a number. It's a lever, and Mike's lever is broken. Number 3, knowledge leverage. A friend of yours spends 3 hours learning how to negotiate their salary. They walk into their review confident, prepared, and specific. They walk out with a $7,000 a year raise. You didn't prepare, so you only got $500. Same job title, same company, same manager. The only difference was they knew, walking into that room, what to do. Knowledge is leverage, and unlike money, it can never be taken from you. Number 4, systems leverage. Do you have your bills on auto pay? Your 401k on auto contribute? Then you've already built a financial system. Every month, money moves exactly where you need it to go without you having to think about it. That's systems leverage. The opposite is someone who means to pay their credit card but forgets and gets hit with a $50 late fee and watches their interest rate jump to 29%. Same intention, no system, very different results. Number 5, strategy leverage. One family decides to aggressively pay off their high interest credit card first, then they save for the vacation. Another family saves for the vacation while carrying that same debt at 24% interest every single month. The first family is using strategy as leverage. They're sequencing their decisions for maximum impact. The second family is working just as hard, but they are working against themselves. Here's the truth most financial content won't say out loud. Most people aren't broke because they don't work hard enough. They're stuck and broke because they're pulling the wrong levers or not pulling them at all. Picture two neighbors, both 35 years old, both making $75,000 a year, both have two kids and a mortgage. 10 years from now, one of them has $180,000 in investments, a paid-off car. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where the money went. The difference almost never comes down to income. It comes down to how many levers they pulled and in which direction. The good news? Leverage isn't something you have to be born into. You don't need to go to business school to understand it. It is a skill, and like any skill, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So here's what I want you to do before this video ends. 3 things. That's it. 1, check your credit score this week. It's free through Credit Karma or your bank app. You cannot use a lever you don't know is broken. Number 2, find one bill you're still paying manually and put it on auto pay right now. One system built today saves you money and stress for years. And number 3, identify one area where knowledge could pay you this month. A salary negotiation, a refinance conversation, an open enrollment you've been thinking of. Spend 2 hours learning it this week. That's knowledge leverage with an immediate return. A lever doesn't care who holds it. A $10 tool can move 1,000 pounds, but only if you know where to place it. Most people are pushing against immovable financial weight with their bare hands when the lever is sitting right next to them. The leverage report exists to show you where to place it. Now that you can see leverage everywhere, next episode we'll go deeper because there are actually 5 distinct types of leverage that build wealth, and most people are only using one of them. If today shifted how you think about money even slightly, subscribe. Because every episode of the Leverage Report builds on the last. And the compounding effect of what you learn here, that's leverage too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.